to my channel, Country Conversations with Diva D. Well, I am about to review episode 15 and 16, if my computer lets me make it, of Zatima. Well, things are getting interesting because Fatima is having mixed feelings because those sexy Paul, y'all, is in the picture. Now, I can see Fatima developing feelings for him, but I don't know where this character is going to go if she and Zach get back together. Well, let's get right on into the review, shall we? Okay, doggone it. Zach was dreaming. He jumps up and the phone is ringing and it's Bryce's for some answers. Calling about that damn deal. If I hit a weird deal one more time, he calls Fatima, and Fatima doesn't answer. And Zatima and Paul wake up in each other's arms, but they did not do the Humpty Hump. Paul says she called out Zach's name. You know what? That Paul is fine self. He is really trying to get with this woman, because if anybody knows a man in his ego, he is not going to spend a night with a woman that, one, did not give him the kitty, and two, did not and called out another man's name. Paul tells her that there's a limit to all of this, getting edging him, getting him right there and then turning it off. And then she said, "What up, Nick? You can go. You don't have to get this kitty. And you can let me process whatever I got going on with Zach." And he says, no. He comes back and cleans up his mess. Oh, don't take me wrong. Please don't be mad at me, Fatima. What I'm trying to say is, it's a limit. Because me getting to know you more is getting my feelings more and more involved. I am so attracted to you. You're such a beautiful woman that it's not fair to me for me to keep, taking you out to dinner, sleeping in the bed with you, holding your hand while you go through this process. And I'm not getting anything out the deal but hurt feelings. She says, I know. It's going to be hard, but if you just give me some space, we can probably figure this thing out and sort it out. And he says, well, you still have my number. Call me when you need me. Paul goes downstairs and Angela's like, well, you don't have to be shamed for the walk of shame now, do you? And Paul is like, well, in order to have a walk of shame, you have to do the do. And she really knows that they didn't do the do, because her walls must be very, very thin in her very nice condo, because she said she didn't hear a thing. Then he offers to fix her gutters because her roof is kind of messed up. And he was like, let me go tap on that. You forgot I'm a contractor. I'll fix that for you. Fatima comes downstairs and Angela tells her she knows that they didn't do anything, so there's no need to come down acting like she did. She asked her whose thing was thinking the most. And she said, girl, I would have to get in the drawers in order to know that. However, it's hard to find a thing that thing's better than Zach. So no wonder Karen over there on Sisters can't leave Zach alone. And no wonder Connie over here on this show can't leave Zach alone. Zach attack must have and must be throwing out the ladies' backs. Oh, yeah. And Anna said, she asked, what we're going to do? What we're going to do tonight? what did y'all do all night? Because that Paul is fine. And Fatima was like, well, we got there and we almost made it happen, but I couldn't. And then she says, Zach is in my head and he was on that stage singing horribly. And Angela said, yeah, he was singing horribly. But, you know, he's saying all the right things. When he sat down at that table, he reminded me of what I was missing in this man. And it's going to be hard not to take Zach back. Well, there's old Tweedledum going over to Zach's house, and Zach over there. He's a man on the floor. He getting it on that bike, right? So he's like, well, you trying to work out some of that old sexual frustration, ain't you? And here come Tweedledee. And he admits that old Belinda set Zach up, but he didn't want to admit it. And he's like, what up, man? What up, man? You still going to that therapy shit? And he's like, yeah, you need to go. You ain't got no job. Your wife done left you. And you all up in my business all the time. You need to fix something about you. And that's what I'm saying about Tweedledee. He is the most irritating character on this show. Like I said, I know he's supposed to be the comic relief or whatnot, but it's got to be some middle ground there. I mean, where is his wife? I know she left his ass, as she should have, but show that every once in a while. I know this is Zach and Fatima's show, but show them doing something outside of meddling in Zach and Fatima's business. And Tweedledee continues to hate and says, well, you know, old girl was over there, you know, you saw her all up at the club with old dude, and he's like, mind your fucking business. Get out my house. Get out my house. And he puts them out. Angela goes to see Belinda. Here we go with the repetitive dialogue. Did you do it? No, I didn't do it. Somebody must have hacked my computer. Girl, bye. She said somebody hacked her computer. It finally comes out and she says, okay. Don't tell Fatima that I did. She says to her, Angela says to her, bitch, delete that doggone profile. Right? And she says, I want to be friends back with her so bad. I don't know why I do the things I do. It was the ooh-wee. And she said, ooh-wee don't make you do dumb shit like that. Then she said, well, this time I tried to wipe over you. It was the shrooms. And she says, I don't care what it was. Angela does. And says, I don't care what it was. You are not serving your friendship and getting back the friendship with Fatima doing all these antics. In the next scene, Mama comes to the office with the French roll from the 99 in the 2000s. And she says to Fatima, baby, we need to go to dinner. And she says, she says, let me take you to lunch. And then Fatima says, Mom, what are you up to? You never come to my office to see me in the middle of the day. And she said, baby, it's already set up. Let's go to lunch. Zach goes to the site, but the judge calls. and invite Zach to dinner. Zach is over there at this mysterious site, I guess, where Bryce wants to do the deal. And he's like, does Zatima know you called me? He says, no, but I want you both to come to dinner. Then Mom and Zatima and Mom's French roll go to lunch. And Mom tells her, you know what? I was wrong about Zach. And I judged him by what was going on with me and your father. When I see your father to this day, I don't know if I can control myself when he's around. I was in love with that man. He didn't love himself, though, because he was in the hood. Now, we had our moments where things were good, and when they were good, they were great. But when they were bad, they were terrible. And, you know, what everybody is trying to get Fatima to see is that the man has confessed. And the man is doing the work. He did this one bad thing, but he's doing work. Baby, what black man can you say that's willing to do the work and go to counseling? That is exactly what happened between me and my baby's father. Even though he is no longer with us, that's another story to tell of another time. But when he asked me to be his wife, I said, sure, but we have to go to counseling. No counseling, no wife. And he says, but baby, we get along. Yes, we do, right now. And that was us. It was probably one of, we had probably maybe about 3 more conversations after that before he passed. But like I said, that's another story, another day. And she said she would always wonder, back to Mom and Fatima. She said she would always wonder if she made the right decision by packing her up, Fatima, and herself up to leave this man. And she said even though her father is so good to her, meaning her stepfather, she will never get over the fact that she was able to walk out the door and leave her father behind. But he made so many mistakes being in and out of jail. And it was just a time when she had to say to herself, it's just not going to work. And I have to do what's best for me and my child. And she is correct in that moment, because even though you can develop or have feelings for a person, and you may love that person for the rest of your life, but if it's toxic, it still won't work no matter how much you love each other. Fatima is on the side of thinking that this relationship is so toxic that she can't move past it. I think there's hope there. And we go to the next scene. In the next scene, Val and Bryce talk about the deal. The deal. And coming up in episode 16, we're going to hear more about the deal. And he tells her that, I know, we haven't been pre-approved for the deal, but I'm trying to convince my partner to get involved with this deal because I know I just don't want to miss out. And Val was like, she's on board. But I knew it. In comes Paul. I knew he was the contractor on the deal. It's some kind of real estate deal, obviously. And when Paul walks up, the show ends. I believe in this episode, Zach is around as well, because I'm I don't want to get 16 and 15 mixed up, but I believe Zach is in this episode as well at the end here, and he hears Val call Paul honey, and that's where the episode ends. Stay tuned for episode 16. I will be right back. I'm going to pause right here for just a moment, and I will be right back. This is going to be in the same video, of course, but I'm just pausing to take a little sip of water. And we're back, and I was correct. They all were at the site because it opens up, and they are still there. The episode 16 is called A Gamble of Love. Okay, a gamble at love. Anyway, like I said, they still at the construction site. Val calls, find Paul, honey again, and Bryce is still pressuring Zach to do the deal. He says, look, man, I don't want to miss out on this deal. Val gets an attitude, and she's like, okay. What is going on between y'all two? I mean, get your shit together. Because I have other clients that are looking at this deal. Whatever the deal is. If it's a residential deal or if it's a commercial deal, say that. Then it's explained what their relationship is. Val tells Zach, no worries. I'll tell you how I know him. He's my ex-husband. We still call each other honey. And Zach said, dude, that's mad weird. But Zach and Bryce are still talking, about the deal. Bryce wants him to put in an additional 500 G's. And he's like, no, man, I ain't got it like that. Then, once Bryce realizes that Zach is not going to follow through with this because he only has 1.5 mil that he's willing to invest, he's like, you got it, man. And he's like, who told you that, Gary? There's Gary's name again, implying that Bryce is the Jake from State Farm from Sisters. And in a later scene here at the site, Paul says, look, man, we need to talk. He said, bruh. Zach said, bruh, me and you, we ain't got it like that. You trying to steal my woman. Which is also, by the way, what he told Val, because he kept saying, tell her, how you know me? And he was like, well, Fatima is very much in love with this food. So, Zach and Fatima, Paul tells Zach that Fatima cannot move on because he is so much in her head. And, oh yeah, that sexy Paul telling her, I'm willing to do the work, are you? I'm telling you what this woman needs. He said, how you know my woman needs? She is very much still in love with me and very much still engaged with me. You being mad disrespectful right now. And Paul says, relax, man. I'm just trying to give you some advice. I'm telling you what you could do to get back with this woman. But in order for you to do these things, I need you all the way out of the system. So, listen to me carefully. Be nice. Be kinder to her. Give her what she needs. Because if you don't, I will. Zach says, man, motherfucker, you better be glad that we on the first floor, because we on the second floor. I promise I will lay your ass out and kick your ass through that window. Well. Fatima, which I didn't mention in episode 15, was served at the end of the episode with the papers from Deja's little lawsuit. By the way, now we know Deja ass didn't drop the lawsuit. But Fatima did whoop her real good, didn't she? Oh, my word. So she talks to her lawyer. His name is Casey, and Casey apparently is a lawyer at Andy's firm and a partner. And she says, well, you know, you've been knowing me for a long time. I need to I need you to check this girl out. And he's like, well, I put eyes on her. And she was like, you know, she's a stripper, right? And he said, stripper? Is she still wagging? Country conversation. Shout out to my friend who says wake instead of work. She still working on the pole? And Fatima was like, yeah. Put eyes on her down there at the strip club. He said, yeah, because if she's sliding up and down the pole and gliding up and down the pole, she can't be there. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And so she was like, oh, she's a slit bucket because she is trying to get with my man or former. And he says he got eyes on her, but she's going to have to go back to school because she's going to be an awesome attorney. Well, over there at the barber shop, here goes the boot. Yeah. They slap 5. Here come Tweedledee and Tweedledum and old man Tyrone is up over there doing some haircuts, and Zach tells him he needs his line faded up, you know, because he got a date. And Nate has just come back from paying Belinda her money because Tony calls him out. He's like, you know, man, me and Belinda, we ain't doing nothing, but, you know, this is the booty call. He said, man, you just got some money from her. He's like, or just gave her some money. He's like, man, I owed her that money. She was a booty call. Me and her ain't getting down like that. Zach is sitting in the middle. And he's like, man, you know, when you gonna forgive me for this? And then he's like, should I? Why should I? He said, because we've been friends since we were little. And I need your friendship. Sounding like Belinda talking about Fatima. But yet and still, these two individuals are keeping this relationship apart with their antics. Trying too hard. Then they bring it up as a joke about the therapy. And they say, Mr. Tyrone, you know Zach is still going to the therapist, right? And then Mr. Tyrone said, oh, what? Black folks don't go to the therapist. They're gonna have you thinking you're what, like a something? Have you on a broom? Be going crazy. That's white folks shit. And then they was like, man, he old school for real. And then Nate jumps up and tries to give Mr. Nate 5, and Mr. Nate said, get back. This is a straight razor in my hand. Straight razor. Get back. And I'll hook you up. And then they're like, man, you old school for real. Then Angela and Fatima meet up at the office. And see, these are all these friends that's so involved in their relationship. I'm not saying that Angela is so involved to the point where she's hating, but she's also in the mix. So she's over at the office and she tells Belinda that, you know, her mom and dad have asked her out to dinner. Fatima says she doesn't understand or really know what they're asking her to dinner for because they know that Zach is trouble. You know, done messed up and fucked up. And Angela's like, well, I'd encourage you to go to the dinner to see what they want. But baby, when you return, I got to have the tea. And Angela said, and Fatima says, and you know I got it. But Angela also, in this scene, gives her the phone showing her that the app had been deleted. And then Fatima lets her know that she knew that old Boom Boom Belinda had out. Shout out to J.J. Evans over there on Good Time. He called his old lady Boom Boom Belinda. And she said she knew that Boom Boom Belinda had, you know, set it up the whole time. And they wrap up their little scene, and here comes Fatima in a foxy purple dress over at Pop's house. Pops tells her she looks nice. She says, Mom, everything looks so delicious. I know you ordered out. And then old Pop said, my baby cooked this meal. All right. And then he's like, me and you have to talk. And so do you and Zach. And then Fatima says, in her Fatima way and in Tyler Perry's way, Zach doesn't think, once again, Zach doesn't think I had anything to do with this, does he? And then Pop said, no, it was my idea. Your mama's willing to apologize to Zach. And then she goes, are you sure? I'm going to say that are you sure is Tyler Perry's signature line. He was like, well, you know, we're not here to tell you what to do, but we're here to advise you and to tell you what we did wrong in our relationship. So sit back, sit tight, and hold up. We're about to give it to you real, raw, and uncut. Zach arrives, and they exchange pleasantries. She says that she planned everything. She tells them that she hates when people don't tell her what's going on up front. And her mom says, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Just give us a second, you know. It takes time when you're advising the youth on what you see in them and then what mistakes you also made. So, yeah, you know, they got to get up on the nerve to do what they said they were going to do and make it raw and uncut. So they sit down and they have wine and they toast. And Mom really doesn't want Dad to be as uncut as he is because he starts to cuss. And she was like, he was like, she's like, don't tell every damn thing. And then he was like, you know, all the shit you used to say back in the day. Oh, okay. Well, even though they were both rough around the edges, they clean cut and classy now, and Mom was rough around the edges for sure, according to Pop. Pop says that she was hood, but classy with it. And then Zach says, that sounds familiar. He said, yeah, she used to carry a gun in her purse. And Zach's like, that also sounds familiar. But, you know, they started to date. She began to see something in him, and they started dating. And Dad says he continued to show her a different life. But all the while, that hood side was still in Mom. And he says, well, Mom wanted your dad. She was so in love with your father, and she cheated on me. Now, again, with the clarity title, all you had to do here was say she cheated with Fatima's dad. But again, I guess I have to deduce that that's who she cheated with because it wasn't explained. And he's like, relationships are not perfect. And since Zach is doing the work, he's going to counseling. Baby, that means that this man is in love with you and he's willing to make things right. All it takes is effort. And Fatima's mom says, well, you know what, Zach? I misjudged you, and I am truly sorry. I really can see that you love my daughter. So, it's all about lessons. And they both encourage them to continue to put forth the effort. She looks at Fatima and says, are you willing to put forth the effort? And Fatima said, well, it's just hard because, you know, Zach really hurt me. And then that scene ends with Zach and Fatima going outside, and they give them a to-go plate which looked really delicious. I wonder what was in there. I wonder was it a prop? It looked like real food. And Zach tells her, you know, I'm still in love with you, baby, and I know I hurt you, but I am putting forth to work. And Zach says he knows that, he sabotages his relationships, and that's what counseling is helping him understand. And he was like, well, I'm going to leave the door unlocked for you. And she's like, don't do that. Do you want to get robbed? And he was like, well, you don't feel like driving anyway. You've been drinking. He's trying to get her to come home. And Fatima gets in her car and acts like Zach is not talking. Bling, bling, bling. His phone rings as she's driving away. And it ain't no other than hood rat ass Connie. And he hangs up on her. Fatima gets over to Angela's spot, and Angela is dressed up, looking fly as ever, because she is a very fine BBW. Is that what it's called? BBW, black, beautiful woman. Yeah, a BBW. And she's sitting there like, encouraging her to get back with her man. And she's like, well, Zach is putting in the work, as everybody is telling Fatima thick skull self. And, you might need to put on your headphones tonight. She said, what you doing, rushing me out? She said, not really. You can stay, but you might want to try to go back home because Zach left the door open for you. And she said, yeah, but I told him not to do that. And she said, well, girl, I'm having company. Then she said, well, who coming over here? And she said, Big Sam. And Fatima says, well, you better be careful with that one. And then she says, if he knows anything about Angela, then he better be careful. You better say that, Angela. Okay. And then Zach arrives at home in his fancy car, and there is hood rat ass Connie. And she tells him that we need to get in the car. And then he said, what is it now? She says, it's about your mother. They get in the car and they drive off. Now, my question is, how the hell did Connie get over there in the first place? Why she get in the car with Zach? You just mock my words. Belinda or somebody is gonna see Zach with old hood rat ass Connie. And now he's making leeway with good old Fatima. And you just mock my words. It's gonna be a situation, another one, that keeps these two apart. Somebody's gonna melt again. But that's how this show goes, doesn't it? Now, as we talked about Mama Fatima's hood rat days, because she took down the French roll from the 99 and the 2000, she let it float. I wonder, how does our girl Madam fit in there? Because Pops was a hood rat gangster, and so was Mom. I assumed that the hood rat gangster in Madam came from Fatima's dad's side. But after Step Poppy said that Mama was hood rat with a pistol in her purse, Fatima could have got that from both sides. So who is Madam related to there that made them cousins? Could it be either parent, huh? Yeah. And same thing with Madam. It's not really explained how her and Amp are related. We know that that's her nephew, but they never say what sibling made her, or made Amp her nephew. And obviously the same thing here. But I love the show still, and I probably will continue to love the show. I'm very loyal to the shows that I love. And I give my reviews and my honest opinions, and I'm loyal to a lot of Tyler Perry shows that, I see the repetitive dialogue, and I go over there on Ruthless, and Ruthless is a drama. And I still hear some of the same things. And, some of the same exact words and some of the same exact type of scenes that I do over there on Ruthless, and they on Compound. But, again, I love Tyler Perry, And a lot of people do. It's just like, you have your minor complaints. He's a talented man. You can't take that away from him. That's true. But at the same time, Tyler. All we ask is that you get somebody, a team. Like we trying to get she don't pay to do over there on lower. Everybody needs a team. Baby, if my channel blows up, you don't think I'm gonna have somebody up in here helping me writing it? Oh well, you know how that is. But anyway, these are country conversations with DVD. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you will enjoy this review. I am getting great numbers on my Zatima reviews. Come on in. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Country Conversations with Diva D. I am out, and I'm going to leave with my signature deuces.